Hello, my brothers and sisters. This is Garrett Bake, your situational expert, the creator of Warrior Guardian and a bunch of other cool stuff. I think it's fun to say that. And welcome to another episode of Your Daily Armor. Today's topic, wait, how does this thing work? So, when I was growing up, probably like you, I loved getting new toys. I don't know what it was. Like, at times it didn't even matter if it was a cardboard box. If it was new, I wanted to play with it. That's the way it was. I still get excited for Christmas. I'm not going to lie. I'm one of those guys that likes to wake up super early and then wake their kids up. And yeah, that's me. So it should come to no surprise to you that at work, I loved getting new toys, right? New equipment, new things to play with. When I first joined SWAT, right, I was on the SWAT team for a few years. When I first joined the SWAT team, I was working graveyards at the time. For those of you who don't know what graveyards is, that is 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. That's right, when most people are asleep, I was working. Most of the team at that time was part-time. So I loved working graves, except until 3 o'clock. Because after 3 o'clock, I got really tired, nothing was happening. And from 3 o'clock till about 7 o'clock, it was a battle to stay awake. I'm sure any of you who have worked at night can relate to this. So after a couple of months, I had some gear issued to me. As part of those supplies that were issued, I got I don't have anything that looks like them. Hey, we'll just say this. 2 flashbangs, right? What flashbangs are is they are light sound diversionary devices. They call them LSDD, not LSD. They are not a drug, although if you throw them enough, you might get addicted to them. LSDD, light and sound diversionary device. They are very loud, they are very bright, which makes them very effective. And why do we use them? We use them to get somebody's attention. Hey, we are here, we are serious, it's time to come out and play. Or to distract them, right? In order to execute a mission. So, since I hadn't been on the team very long, I received the basic training course, which was, here's a pin, you pull the pin, don't let go of the handle until you throw it, and don't stare at it when you do. Congratulations, here's your 2 flashbangs. So that was my training course. So I got these 2 flashbangs, threw them in the trunk of my car, and off we went. Didn't anticipate that I would ever have a chance to use them until I did. So at about 2 a.m. one night, we get this call, the subject is disturbing, right? The call comes in that he is threatening his girlfriend with a knife. She leaves the apartment, says he's still inside. When we arrive on scene, one of my partners walks into the courtyard, finds the female, and then pulls her out and says, hey, what's going on? And she fills him in, hey, he's been drinking, he's inside, he doesn't want to come out, all that kind of stuff. So based on the conversation that we had with her, we had enough to detain him, right? He'd been threatening her with the knife and whatnot, so he was going to have to talk to us. But because he had a knife, we didn't just go knock on the door, right? The last thing you want to do is knock on the door. He opens the door, he's got a knife, and, well, now you got to deal with it. So we started giving out verbal commands, which was kind of funny because it's 2 o'clock in the morning and nobody's awake, and it's a big empty apartment complex. So you start screaming out commands, and it echoes everywhere. Johnny, come out with your hands up. Boom, boom, boom. We know you're inside. Boom, boom, boom. Just kept echoing. Kind of weird. So anyway, we tried this for a minute or two, nothing happened. So I get on my phone, I call the SWAT commander. Now, I figured if anyone knew what to do, it would be the wise and experienced SWAT commander. He was an older cop, he'd been around 30 plus years, very smart man with a good head on his shoulders. Kind of felt bad though, I'm waking him up about, 2:30 in the morning. He sleepily answered the phone, and I kind of filled him in with what was going on, and he paused for a second, asked me a couple follow-up questions, and he paused again, and then he asked me another question. He goes, do you have any flashbangs? I was like, yeah, I got a couple of them. Why? He goes, well, throw one up by the front door and see what happens. I was like, wait, what? Wait a minute? You want me to do what? I didn't know. I thought he would just come out, but I guess he didn't want to wake up the whole SWAT team for something yet. So I told him that I would go throw the flashbang and I'd call him back with an update. So I walked to my car, opened up the trunk, and there's 2 flashbangs. pick up the first one and say, all right, here we go. The problem was it's the first time I literally picked it up since I'd been trained. So here's this heavy piece of metal that I don't even know what's going to happen when I start doing the things that I was shown that I needed to do. But here we go, all right? Little deep breath, walk over to the guys, and I walk up to them and they see that I got something in my hand, and they're like, what do you have in your hand? I was like, it's just a flashbang. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, watch. I'm going to throw this at the door. We're going to see what happens. Be ready. So I pulled the pin, tossed it at the door, and it bounced once, and then boom! The loudest boom you've ever heard, echoing all throughout the complex. I was like, oh my goodness. I thought that it went off right next to me. Like everything was shaking. Big bright light. I mean, it was crazy. There was a momentary pause, right? Everybody's like, what do we do now? Oh, yeah, talk to him. So then we started issuing more commands. Within 30 seconds, he came out. We detained him, no problem. Knife was inside. He left it inside. But is this weird? Like, after we got him out, like, I didn't know. Well, do we high five? Do we fist bump? Do I just play it cool? I mean, what do we do at this point? Thankfully, I took the let's play it cool option. Walked back to my car. I called the SWAT commander, told him what happened. His only words to me were, good job. Now I'm going back to sleep. And he hung up. See, but that night, I learned a very important lesson, right? I learned the importance of listening to someone who had more experience than I had. Someone who had my best interests in mind. So ask yourself, where across the core four, right, your relationship with your body, your being, your balance, and your business, where have you benefited from listening to someone who has experience, right? It could be that you're lost in trying to connect with God, so you go to a church and you meet with a pastor or a preacher or a bishop, and he shares with you his insight or his journey, and that helps you be able to connect more with God. Or it could be that you go and you're trying to run, I don't know, a half marathon. Never done it before. You don't even know what shoes to pick out. But you reach out to someone who's an experienced runner who's able to guide you down this path of getting the right shoes so your legs don't hurt when you run, right? So it could be any of these four areas, but pick one of these areas, write down one thing where you've actually been avoiding talking to an expert, that you know you need to, but you haven't been. Take that one thing, right? And then actually go and talk to an expert. Get that thing taken care of. So Julius Caesar once said, experience is the teacher of all things. And we can choose to go down that experience path by ourselves or accelerate our growth by going down that path with somebody else. All right, that's it for today. I need you to do a couple things. I need you to like this. And then I need you to comment. I need your comments on this, right? Follow us. Subscribe to this page. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Warrior Guardian. Got some pretty cool stuff going on over there. Last but not least, stay safe. And we'll see you on the next one.